Hello, good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to Mason's Cooking Show. Today is our very first episode. I've been in debt for making this video for about 5 years. 5 years ago, I lost a bet actually, and I told the winner that I would make a cheesecake YouTube tutorial if they clutched up this one game. So that's where we are. Today we're gonna make cheesecake. We're going to start off with graham crackers. We're going to need 18 graham crackers, and the fun part is getting these things out of the containers with my stubby little hands. For some reason, I just can't get it done. Anyways, get it open, break one in the process, and just dump them out. Get them out there. and once again, we're going to need about 18 graham crackers. If it's like one less or one more, it really doesn't matter. The tolerances are pretty high. Anyways, get your microplastics in your cast iron pan and solve all of the world's problems, and just beat the ever-living crap out of these graham crackers. Turn them into a fine powder. Don't do what I did, because I was too loud and I got a noise complaint from my neighbors. So yeah, don't do that. That was bad. Anyways, once we dissolve those into a fine powder, and it definitely won't take you 30 minutes like it took me, we're going to go ahead and empty those into a bowl. And we are going to add our ingredients to finalize the crust. So our first step is going to be to add 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. Then we're going to add a sprinkle of salt, because every good dessert has salt in it. And now we're going to play my favorite game, which is called Mix Together Brown Sugar, Salt, and Graham Crackers. And the even more fun game is that a giant chunk of graham cracker, or is it a giant chunk of brown sugar? Either way, we're going to continue to pulverize these things because we want to make sure that there aren't too big of gaps, or else the cheesecake batter will get through. Next, we're going to add a stick and about 1/4 of a stick of melted butter into our mixture here. And that's going to serve as our binder. So that's going to allow us to transform the material and conform it to the shape of our springform pan. So the reason we want such a fine powder is because when we press it down, we want to make sure that there's no gaps in the materials. No voids, or else the pancake batter will escape the springform pan, and that will not be fun, especially if you aren't baking with a water bath. Next, we're going to get our springform pan out here. I hate these things. They have been the devil. I can never figure them out, but hopefully it'll work this time. We're going to add our butter in there. Butter was actually my nickname in high school, so me and it go way back. I'm going to save you the trouble of having to watch me very gently butter this pan and just speed up the process, but we want to make sure we butter every single square millimeter of this thing, or else it's going to stick. Won't be fun. I'm going to go wash my hands with that. And then we're going to go ahead and dump in our graham cracker crust here. Now we want to make sure that we get all of it out, because if you're cooking in a 10-inch springform pan, like I am, you're not going to be able to get all of the crust up on the sides. But we do want to make sure it goes up on the sides, or else the cheesecake will not look very presentable, to say the least. So we're going to press all that down. We're going to conform it along the edge of the springform pan. And we want to make sure that the bottom is about as thick as a penny laying on its side. So not too thick, but also not too thin. It should add a nice crunch, beautiful little texture to the cheesecake, and just a very nice salty finish to the very creamy, rich top. We're going to put that into an oven at 325 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 minutes. While that's going, we're going to get our batter started. First thing we're going to need is $10 worth of cream cheese. Please never shop in a college town. Anyways, that's 4 blocks. I'm also going to add sour cream. I'm a little nervous adding this because I know the cheesecake purists of the world are going to hate me. You can substitute the sour cream with heavy cream. I just need it as a binder because I'm not cooking with a water bath. Then we're going to add some sugar. Then we're going to add some salt. And then we're also going to add this bourbon vanilla paste from Trader Joe's. Now, this is not a Trader Joe's advertisement, but if it was, this is what I would advertise, because this stuff is so good. I've used actual vanilla beans. I've used vanilla extract. I've used all of it. And this stuff tastes incredible. It goes so great in flan, so great in cheesecake, any dessert you make. I use it in my coffee. It's incredible. Absolutely use this stuff. It really adds a next level to your dish. Anyways, now we're going to crack in 4 eggs. Try not to crack them like I did, because I'm not the greatest at cracking eggs. And you can kind of, yeah. Anyways, we're going to add an egg yolk in addition to that. So that'll be 4 eggs with the whites, and then 1 egg yolk without the white. Now, the secret to a good cheesecake is mixing on low speed. As you can see, that's a low speed on my hand mixer. Please mix with a hand mixer. I promise you, it's going to take you way less time. You could go to the store and buy a hand mixer and find the money on the ground around the street quicker than it would take for you to mix this thing with a wooden spoon. I got to start it with a wooden spoon, but definitely one of the mistakes I made in this process was I should have creamed the cheese first, then added the other ingredients. You can see it kind of looked like scrambled eggs there for a second, and it was disgusting. Anyways, we're going to wind up with this nice, luscious, beautiful batter. And we want to make sure to mix it on low speed because we don't want to incorporate air. If we incorporate too much air into the batter, it's going to make a sunken cheesecake. It's not going to look good, and your guests are going to hate it. Anyways, I'm adding flour just to piss off the cheesecake purists of the world, and I have a friend from New York who might watch this, and I really want him to hate me. So we're going to go ahead and mix that in there. The real reason I added the flour is because I'm not cooking with a water bath. I don't have any container in my apartment that's going to fit into that water bath. So springform pan, that's all we're going to be cooking with. So next we're going to empty that batter into our springform pan, and we want to make sure that we get it evenly distributed because it's a very thick batter. There's a high cream cheese concentration in there, so it's not going to really deform while you bake it. It's not going to like melt over to the sides and perfectly flatten on the top. So we want to make sure we distribute it evenly, we distribute it nicely, and that way it'll cook evenly. And make sure that there's no peaks at the top of it. You know, we're not trying to make a cheesecake that looks like the Smoky Mountains. We're just trying to make sure that the cheesecake is nice and flat and very presentable. We're going to go ahead and toss that into a 300 degree oven, not 325, 300, for about 75 minutes. I let mine go for almost 80 just because it's a lower temperature. And cooking at that lower temperature is going to allow us to not crack the top of the cheesecake. Now, another thing to prevent cracking, once it's finished cooking, prop open the oven like that and let it just gradually come to room temperature. Because if you immediately take it out, not going to be fun. Now, we're going to go ahead and remove this. Make sure it's room temperature when you do this. You can see the water bath I added at the bottom there. That was just to keep the oven moist. It's very dry up here in Indiana in the winter. So I kind of burned myself recording this, which was definitely my mistake. Don't do what I did. Anyways, this is the cheesecake we wind up with. Pretty good product. Now, after covering the springform pan with saran wrap and letting it cool down in the fridge overnight, so that way we don't adjust it to any intense temperatures, we are left with this as the result. Pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. It really did taste amazing. Now I have to figure out how to open this springform pan, which is kind of my kryptonite, you know. Being an engineering major, I should probably be better at working with mechanical systems, but I eventually figured it out, and you can see I did a very good job of buttering it, only a little bit stuck to the sides, and the cheesecake was just fine, and it really did look and taste incredible. So we're gonna go ahead and cut a slice here. I kind of botched the first slice. You'll see that in the next clip here. But run your knife under some hot water and then wipe it off with a towel, and that's what's going to get you a really nice clean cut on this cheesecake, and it will make going through the graham cracker crust even easier. Nothing too crazy. It's going to make it a very presentable, nice looking dish. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of this. This is a post voiceover, so yeah, that was delicious. So yummy. Absolutely loved it. But it did really taste good. It was very light, fluffy, very cream cheesy, just very good dessert. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the fridge because I need to save it for a Final Four watch party.